get to a bridge section here, and we drop down to a B minor chord. And we just bump it up a set for a G flat minor. To the G. To the A. And now into more of a full-blown chorus where, like I said, we're going to repeat that initial kind of vocal section where we do the D to the G, come off to the major 7, to the A. And here we're going to loop this part, so we do the open 2, 3 on the E. Alright, and you could go through that 3 times, this initial part. It changes once we see this again, how many times we go through that. But then instead of doing that dynamic A, G, like in the first time through, here we just do a G. Because this is where he's saying, but I won't do that. We hold that, and then to the A. Alright, and then we get this big kind of, everybody comes in, this little interlude section. And basically the guitar just kind of hits a big D power chord. Kick on the juice. And it just does that 3 times, and it does a little pick scrape. Then a G power chord to an A. Now with the verses, you can either go with, the actual recorded guitar, which is just kind of hitting some power chords and a little bit of, accents on the chords. Or, in the parentheses here, that's just the straight up like acoustic chord or the piano chord if you wanted to do that. But for the recorded guitar, we just hit a B power chord here. Slide it up to this higher voiced G power chord at the 10A, 12D. Then slide it down to the E power chord at 7A, 9D. And then it does this little, vocal parallel where it just goes 7 to 9s on the A there. Where the overall chord for that is a D if you want to just do that. Alright, we get this bridge section now where like the tempo kind of like switches and the feel switches, and it kind of slows down, and it's a little more arpeggiated what's going on here. We're just picking through, like the G, B, and E string really, and we start with this G chord, so we just do like a G, open G, 3B, 3E, come back to the 3B. And that's just kind of how we'll pick all these. Move to a D. Alright, so we're going to pick the 2G, 3B, 2E, back to the 3B. To the B minor, so 4G, 3B, 2E, back to the 3B. And then off to an A chord, so just 2G, 2B, open E, back to the 2 on the B. Next bridge section, come off to a E minor chord. And then throw in this new chord here, the C sharp minor, 4 on A, 6 on the D and G, 5B, 4E. To a G, to an A. This next section is like a chorus segue. This is kind of where all like the backing vocals are kind of doing the vocal lyric, and this is also the chords that are happening for the solo, and it's basically just D here to a B minor to a G, and then that G we just do the 1 measure and then come off and hit a couple of A chords. And with this final verse, the second verse, we get a different dynamic. For the recorded guitar, like I said, it's just doing some power chords, and this time it's doing some palm muted, like 8th note strumming, like downstroke, So we're just at our B power chord there at the 2 and the 4, A and D. Just palm muting a bit there. Switch to a G at the 3 and the 5, E and A. And you want to do, about 16 strums on this, each one. And from there, we're going to move to an E at the 7, 9, A and D. And then just land on a D at the 5 and 7.